We're in the middle of the street in Manhattan, and we're here with Scott. So please, Scott, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Scott Baillie-Hinojosa. I am a principal at Tillotson Design Associates.
My first question, what do you love most about what you do?
For me, I think it has to do with the collaboration. We're very fortunate to have very ambitious clients, and they're the people who we get to be the most creative with. And I think that's really exhilarating sometimes.
What's inspiring you lately?
I live in Chelsea. I really like walking around the galleries to see, what's new, what's rotating through them. But I have to say recently, Sabine Marcellus, I saw her exhibit, and that's really inspiring. And I was in London not too long ago, and I saw a Schiaparelli retrospective, and that was phenomenal. So, I mean, it can be anything, but those two, like between the art world and the fashion world, really, really, really bring me a lot of inspiration, I would say.
This is a tough question. If lighting were music, what would your style be?
It is a tough question because just like music, I think lighting has to be right for the vibe. So it can't be one size fits all. It's really the environment that you're trying to create that I think necessitates the right lighting for the mood to enhance the ambiance. Whether it's hospitality or offices or museums, you have to strike the right balance. And just like all the varieties of music, we need all the varieties of lighting.
Nice. So I think we're just been to a nice restaurant, I would say. I'm always curious about, and be honest with me about this. Would you see in a restaurant first the lighting setup or the menu?
Okay, guilty as charged. Definitely when walking into a restaurant, I might or might not be glancing up at the ceiling to see what's going on there. But I mean, to my last point, that's what we're looking for is what is the mood that the lighting is evoking in the space. As a lighting designer, I want to see what's contributing to that, what's creating that mood. So definitely looking at the lighting first.
We're changing the topic now, and we're talking about the retail projects. What do you pay particular attention to in a retail space when it comes to lighting, obviously?
When we're designing for lighting in retail, I would say our clients typically are most concerned about flexibility because they know their inventory is going to change, they know their styles and their displays are going to change. So they want to make sure that they're building in some future-proof solutions that will protect them over the course of the lifespan of their store. So I would say that's typically number one. But then, of course, how to make the product shine so that everybody is really seeing it in literally its best light. If you're lighting jewels, how are you making them sparkle? If you're lighting clothes, how are you making sure that those fabrics and textures are, so vibrant and captured correctly? I think those are the other key elements in retail, I would say.
Previously, you were talking about your passion about working around art galleries. So my next questions would be, we often hear about lighting for artworks. What's your preferred approach on that?
I think it has to depend on what you're lighting. I've had a lot of fortunate experiences working directly with artists. And I think it's always been really interesting to see maybe my preconceived notions of how I would light it versus how they want to light it. And collaborating to find the best way to meet my professional opinion versus their artistic expression. And I would say that's required for all art, whether it's on the wall, whether it's a freestanding sculpture, whether we want it to be very dramatic and casting shadows, or if we want it to be more voluminously illuminated. It really depends on the specific type of art piece, I would say.
And what are the most common mistakes people make when lighting art?
Not lighting it in a way that accentuates it the best as possible. A lot of the times I'll see picture lights, picture rails that are kind of just lighting the top half of a painting, for example. And I was like, what about the bottom half of the painting? Don't forget about that. Yeah. That's really important because typically people spend a good amount of money on art, or even if they're not, they've invested in something that they really like. So it's always worth making sure that you're properly illuminating it, I would say.
So now diving into more technologies. And so my next question would be, do you use dim to warm technology in residential projects? It is something that you like to use for your projects. In which instance you use that?
I would say that's more common in residential and even maybe hospitality, such as hotel applications, particularly because the dim to warm has such a domestic and familiar connotation to it that I think people like the tactile transition from something cooler to warmer as it dims. When we're talking about offices or institutions where we don't have as much controllability, I don't think it's as critical to have that experience. But, when you're in the home in a place where you're spending personal quiet time, that's when I think people want to feel that the most.
And what about tunable white? Is there any instance where you would love to specify tunable white? If the budget, of course.
Yeah.
Because that's always like a concern, I guess.
Yeah, conversely, in those environments where it's much more controlled, where it's not about the individual user, but about the collective group of people occupying a space, I think that's where we might use tunable white more often to either create a circadian scene throughout the course of the day to help create a relationship to the outdoors, or just allowing the environment to create different moods and atmospheres through a variety of circumstances.
I would say that the lighting industry is moving towards circularity nowadays. How important do you think concepts such as the interchangeable LED modules that we just launched in our hybrid downlight collection, and we're going to expand this concept to do also our track heads and spotlights and so on, and product upgradability will become in the future. So how important do you think it's this topic when you do the lighting design for your projects?
I think it's really critical, especially thinking about what our clients want in the future. They're not investing in these projects so they will have to renovate them in 5 years when the warranty's over on the fixtures, right? They want something that will be enduring. And so making sure that product design, and I have to say, we look to the manufacturers to this, right? Because we're not looking for planned obsolescence here. We want fixtures to last and have a lifespan, but we also understand that there's needs to be constant innovation. So making sure that these products are developed in a way that not only can they be serviced in 2 and 5 years, but what is the plan for 10 years? So we're not creating more waste for ourselves, but we're actually building in an element of future proofing as we continue to innovate in the field and with the lighting technology.
What would you tell to someone just getting into lighting design nowadays?
Well, I mean, especially if they're not in lighting at all, like say they're coming from architecture, like that's my background. I was like, just do it. Just try it. You looked at it for a reason, just dive in. I think there's a lot of opportunity here, and in a world where technology is rapidly developing, there's a greater need for specializations. So don't be afraid to get specialized.
What's your favorite piece from Nemo? Pick one from Fontana Arte, one from Reggiani, and one from Il Tillotson. Why would you think that these are special for you somehow?
Il Tillotson, I like the linear in-grade fixture. I love how seamlessly it can integrate into walkable surfaces. Okay, so for Nemo, hands down, I recommend this all the time because I have one, the Lampe de Marseille.
Okay, nice.
Incredible. I love how it lights my room. It's so simple. Obviously, it's Le Corbusier, so pretty iconic. Fontana Arte, I love Avico. I love specifying that. It's such a great way to fill a space, and it just gives this really generous glow throughout. Love it. For Reggiani, I love the cells. Okay. The cells, because it has this really industrial feel to it, but it's very high performance and on an architectural lighting level. Mm-hmm. So it really fits the bill in a variety of ways.
Nice. My last question for you is, if you could light any place in the world, past, present, or future, what would it be and why?
I think I would maybe do something by Gaudí. The architecture is insane, and I feel like there's a lot of opportunity to do something really cool with that. I was recently reading something about this proposed project that he had in New York City a long time ago, which was a hotel, and I was seeing these images and AI images of what that would have looked like in real life, and I think that would have been a really unique opportunity to explore for sure.
So thank you so much, Scott, for joining us in this coffee table in the middle of the street in Manhattan.
Pietro,
it has been a pleasure.
Couldn't imagine a better spot to sit down and have an interview.
Okay. And we see each other soon, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.